Hello and welcome to Weekend Investing Daily Bites. Today our topic is how our brain processes, exponential outcomes, and how we are unable to, have a grasp on how compounding works when we think very linearly in our brains. But first, let's take a look at the markets. The market was reasonably sound with the broader base moving up. After the last week of some falls, the recovery has been reasonably sharp, and we can see commodities, autos, infra, public sector enterprises, energy all doing quite well. Banks still are a little softer than the rest of the market, but they are still, I think, in the green now for the week. And as we can see in this second column, all the sectors that we are tracking here have done well in the last 1 week or so, and over the month as well. Most sectors have recovered some of the losses that we had, sharper losses that we had seen week 10 days back. So Nifty closed up almost 0.8% up. Nifty Next 50 was also 0.9% up. CNX 200, 500. Everything was near about 3/4 to 1.5% up. Small caps doing the best at 1.49%. Weekend investing, small cases also followed suit. MI35, the small case, small case did 1.81%. MI20, which is mid and small caps, mid cap and large caps, did 1.68%. MI80H did 1.28%, and so on and so forth. MI25 has been lagging a bit, but it does catch up when it does. So overall, a reasonably good outcome for the last 1 week, where most strategies have recovered a large part of the lost ground. MI80H is still lagging a bit on a monthly basis. So let's take a look at the topic, our brain and the markets. So if I were to show you this table here, that if we are doing a monthly SIP of 10,000 rupees and we do it for 2 years, so the money put in is 2.4 lakhs. Expected XIRR, if it is 15%, and the SIP top up, so first year SIP is 10,000, SIP top up by 5% would mean it will go to 10,500 from next year onwards. The future portfolio after 2 years is 2,91,000. We put in 240 and we got 15% return. This kind of, you are able to process this and expect that this is the kind of future portfolio I may have if this was the XIRR and if this was doing this. Now another example, a 20-year SIP, same monthly SIP, 20 years, same expected XIRR 15%, same SIP top up 5%, but the portfolio here is 1 crore 81 lakhs. It's not very intuitive to think that way, because even if you were to calculate your total outgo, which is about 20 lakhs, and of course adding up the SIP top up also, so it will be more than that, but it doesn't come intuitively to you what you saw in a very short term small 24-month period. What you saw, it does not really come naturally to you in a 240 months when you're seeing it this way. And let's extend this further. So 30 years, expected XIRR 50, again everything has been the same, portfolio is 8 crores, and 40 years, everything else remaining same, 34.53 crores. So you can see what is the kind of compounding impact each decade is having on your portfolio. And of course all the other parameters we are assuming to be the same, 15% XIRR, and your SIP, as you are doing better in your job or business, your SIP is also gradually going up, and this is the kind of so the idea is that at very small periods of time, in very short ranges, our brain is very happy to think linearly and add 2 and 2 and make it 4. But when it comes to compounding over long periods of time, larger range of the money involvement, then it does not really come very naturally, and you can't really blame yourself for it. I mean, the magic of compounding is such that such simple things, 10,000 rupees SIP, 5% year on year increase in SIP, 15% XRR gets you, by the time you are retiring from your job, gets you 34.5 crores. I mean, that's amazing. Even if you were to reduce this by whatever inflation or taxation costs, etc., you'll still reach a very, very healthy figure, which is otherwise very difficult to fathom. 10,000 rupees, you could buy some new phones every 6 months or something like that, shoes, phones, and squander it away. But saving it and then investing it and then compounding it, you get to this kind of a result. So usually what happens is that a person starts in the market and he starts to invest, and he starts with a SIP, and he's very motivated, and sometimes the timing of the start is not so good. Let's say somebody started at 2008 highs, or somebody started at 2015 January 2011, or maybe just before COVID started. So in a very short period, if you are not able to get or see the gains, like in this example was on 21 years of Nifty. If you started on 1st Jan 2000 and you started with a SIP of 10,000 rupees, you see that for the first 3 years till 2003, you almost got no gains. In fact, almost in 4 years you had no gains. And that can run your patience out. I've been investing for 4 years, I've been sipping. Everybody said sipping in the market can make you huge gains. Now I'm sitting here with 4 years of sipping and nothing to show. What kind of investment opportunity is this? Let me get out of it. So it is very easy to give up in the first few years. I also remember I started doing one SIP in 2010, because I never used to do any SIPs or anything. I used to do ad hoc investing at that point of time. And by 2013, I was thoroughly frustrated. 3 years of sipping, and the underlying is not going anywhere. What is really that I'm doing wrong? And I discontinued the SIP, and the market took off. So hard lessons learned, but the idea of sipping should be to not look back and just have the conviction that market will reward you in lumps, in lumpy terms. It may not do a linear thing. Our brain tends to think very linearly, that we should get 12% every year, 15% every year. Market may not give you anything for 4 years, and then it may give you 100% in the 5th year. Just like that Chinese bamboo story that you all know. So over this 21-year period, total investment is 26.4 lakhs. Given that you are doing 10,000 rupees per month SIP, XIRR of 13.45%, whereas the current portfolio, due to the compounding impact, has reached 1.45 crores. So while this was, the gap between money put in and the actual performance was very small here, but you can see as the years went by, this gap kept on increasing, and the widening gap became as large as 26 lakhs versus 1.45 crores. So again, just repeating myself, our ability to extrapolate based on compounding impact is very, very little. And I also tweeted today about the IT index. Now IT index from 1997 January till 2000 January, so about 3 years, it went up 124 times from around 80 levels, and I don't know if you can see this, but it went to some crazy figure of some 9,800, something like that. So uh, essentially, just imagine an index doing 124x in 3 years. You can't imagine it actually. Even after having witnessed it in my life, I still can't imagine it. So an index doing 124x, just imagine what the stocks did. And I also repeated on some of the stocks. Wipro did like 400x in the same 3 year period. So stocks will do at times things that we cannot imagine in our wildest of imagination, wildest of dreams. Hence, you need a strategy or a plan that will help you stick to that success path. Otherwise, what will happen? It goes double or goes 4 times, bahut ho gaya, let's get out. Discretion, your brain will keep telling you, giving you fearful messages. No, you will fall down, let's get out. Just imagine if somebody had invested and with some exit criteria, exited here as well after a year or two, after having given up maybe some part of the gain. Because in many stocks, this high was not taken out for almost 10 to 14 years. Imagine you coming late into this and then having to spend a decade just recovering your capital. So things will happen which you will not be able to process, and hence the requirements. I had the chart here. So hence the requirement that we have a process to follow and not rely on our extrapolation in our brain. This is again, as you can see, from 2000 on to approximately 2014 is when the Nifty IT index actually broke out again after 14 years of vanvas, you can say, and it has not looked back since then. It's just climbing very, very fast. Now again, this may look very steep, having gone from 10-11,000 at the bottom of the pandemic to about 34,000 now, but who knows where it is going? I mean, who's to say that this will not do 10x or 20x here, or it may just drop from tomorrow onwards? Nobody can really pinpoint that. Again, Harshad Mehta bull market was one of the biggest bull markets of all time, right? Index went up like 4x within a very short period of time. In hindsight, it looks tiny. The 2003 to 2008 run was again about maybe something like 4 to 6x. Again, 2012 to 2014 run. So each run looks very significant when you see it in short term, but when you see it over a longer period, and if I show it to you on a logarithmic chart, then it will look very, very different. So on absolute scale, these peaks look very, very small. However, they were ferocious runs at that point of time. So what is looking like a ferocious run right now, who knows, 10 years later you may look back and say, okay, we had a run in 2020, but that was not such a big deal, right? Because the markets need to keep growing, the economy is growing, the companies are growing, there's a automatic selection of the best companies that will remain in the index, the laggards will go out. So your strategy needs to be that way, that you remain with the strength in the market. Also, let's also talk about Bitcoin here. So this is S&P to Bitcoin last decade or so. And S&P has done very, very well in the last decade, 293% up. But just look at where it stands against Bitcoin. Bitcoin has done 61,000% up. So while this huge peak of going from 200 to 20,000 on the Bitcoin was very, very steep at that point of time, but now just look at it in reference to where we are. So applying your mind to sort of assimilate or fathom the extents of the gains or falls is very, very difficult to do. Very few people are able to see that kind of a thing coming in the future. So for me, compounding remains the eighth wonder of the world. 2.5 decades into the market, I still cannot see in my mind what may happen after 10 years, and hence the reliance on uh, strategies and ways in which I don't have to supersede the decisions by the strategies. So compounded growth is something that we cannot fathom what may happen. But if you keep pursuing a singular path of a successful strategy or a strategy where it's a natural selection of winners, and a sort of an evolution theory is happening where new stocks which are doing well are automatically included in your portfolio, and stocks that don't do well automatically get rejected. And nothing is predictable. There are thousands and millions of forecasts and predictions every year by zillions of managers, most of whom are not able to beat the Nifty. So just remain very, very cautious about whatever commentary you're hearing. There is a lot of commentary of fear. If we sort of try to assimilate each element of fear that is roaming around the market right now, we will not be able to invest. So you will need to be optimistic, and you will need to be hopeful despite whatever fear mongering that may happen there. And some of it may be true. I'm not saying it's all false. However, a investor can only do well if he or she is following their path of investing and not worrying about what may happen because of these fears. Sticking to one plan which has self-correcting exits and ads, that I've already mentioned that, and playing the long-term game for success. I mean, what I can say is that 25 years of experience, I may have learnt it very late in my life, but you guys are very young. You can start very early and just stay in the long-term game, and that will give you a sustained success in your investing careers. So thank you so much for watching this, and please don't forget to have a look at the MI Evergreen portfolio that we have launched today. There is a promo code HNY2022 on it. It is a fantastic portfolio for long-term compounding. Do take a look at it, and if you like it, please do subscribe to it. Thanks. Bye.